Okay, so it's 7:01 on the night. Oh, just turned 7:02 on the countdown on the 19th. I'm so much out of it. My God, I say that all the time, but it just it doesn't get like I get more in. I get more with it. I feel like I just get more out of it all the time. It's like, oh my God, I'm so out of it. And last night was intense again. Last night, Stella went out twice. Ruthie went out twice. Max went out twice. One of the times he went out and I didn't know he was out. Shut the door. He had went out with them because Ruthie wanted to go out. And then, so Stella got up and went out. So one time they all went out together. But it was still every couple, because one of the times I looked, and every time I would look at the thing, it kept being like 2:02, 3:03, 5:05. I was like, that is so wild. 11:11. I think 11:11 was the first time. But anyways, so they kept going out and going out. And so I'm going to have to go out and see what the issue is with the stools out there. There was, when I was cleaning up yesterday, I was like, man, is that a worm? And it was Stella's. And they were doing the diatomaceous earth there for a few weeks. And then I had kind of laid off of it. Somebody had said, well, that could be dehydrating him. And I had already stopped giving it to him. And so then I was like, well, I'll just give him all a break off of that. So I gave it to him for a couple of weeks. Because I know some people give it all the time, every single time every day. And so when I was still cleaning up all their poops out there, then there keeps being somebody with some kind of like mucusy. And this one, I swear to God, it looked like an alien or something. And it had like this, like it was encased in some kind of, it was weird. And so I came in and I was Googling it, trying to figure out like, what could it be? And it said, somebody had mentioned Giardia, which my daughter keeps saying. And so it said it could be colitis, some kind of colon irritation or inflammation, could be Giardia, and could be, parasite. So I was thinking, well, if it is, and especially after seeing that thing that looked like a big ass worm inside of Stella's, which they did drink the river water. Maybe there's a lot of parasites in it or something. I don't know. Because they love to drink they love to drink that water. And then they had the rainwater out there. It hasn't rained in a while, so Stella can't stand it when her bucket's not full of water. But I'm kind of nervous to just fill it up with the hose, because I'm not sure about the well water, because it has so much iron. I gotta get it tested. I just gotta get it tested. So anyways, last night, after I did that for their last meal, I put a little horse paste in everybody's. That's Archie, I think. Could be, no, it's Ruthie. She's dreaming something. She's on her travels. Oh my God. And she is beyond frisky with this period thing. Her period is like, Lucy, I don't remember Stella going into heat, but I know she did, because I let Lucy have 2, and Stella had 2. And so I'm trying to make sure she has 2, which I may even give her 3. I don't know. Because it's they need the hormones and stuff to grow properly, and they push us to do it so quick, and then all of our pets have so many issues, So I'm sitting here holding my phone in my hand, which I'll talk about the stuff that I've seen. I don't know if I'll share any videos. It's just kind of chaotic all over the place, but maybe I'll share a couple. But which the airports, if you gotta travel, and my sister-in-law is about to go, because my brother and my niece are driving back, but she's staying another few days because she's got to go to a retirement party in Seattle. So she's supposed to fly from Boise to Seattle, and then from Seattle back to LA. And It's not looking good. So I told her to keep checking because they're canceling flights, they're closing down airports, there are all sorts of shit going on, and people are getting rerouted. People are having to stay at the airport for days. It's insane. I saw one airport has cots out everywhere. Denver, the electricity went out and they were in the dark. Like there's all sorts of crazy stuff going on. But to me, it's the energy of trying to get us to just stop mindlessly, just going about, just go, go, go. So, and to sit down and take shit seriously, because serious shit is going on in the world. And so, anyways, Ruthie is, oh, she's so frisky. Oh my God. Oh, Lord. And she's decided that Max and her are a couple, which when Max he's like me. When he's tired, he's like, leave me alone, man. He's very grumpy. But then in the daytime, he's ready to play with her. He's right up on her, running around. They stay together all the time. And, but Ruthie, she wants to up on him. She keeps moving her tail to the side. She's got her diaper on, which they're really cute. They're those little, they look like little skirts with a little diaper thing. But anyways, they're a little decorative and stuff. They're really cute. But that's how much I can see how much she's bleeding. Just so much. It's like, what in the hell, man? My other dogs, I swear to God, they didn't bleed that much. And I know I had diaper for Stella, but I had one. And hers was like freaking $50 for that big ass thing. And I spent like $50 on her to get 8 of them. But but hers get so full. I have to change them out all the time. And they smell like a woman on her period. I don't know what else to say. And so she, but she keeps like going over to him and putting her tail over to the side, like, She keeps going up to Stella, like standing with her vagina right in her face, like, what about this? She just, they kind of leave Max alone a little bit. Kind of, they get on him during the daytime though, where they all start, not Stella, but those two start, because Matt, for some reason, Archie was much more into wanting to hump Max than he was wanting to hump Ruthie. He couldn't even reach anyways. I don't even know. I don't know how little dogs get big dogs pregnant, but but she can't get pregnant because he's fixed anyways. As long as I keep her in our yard and not out ranging around, because I don't know about these other dogs around here. But yeah, these two boys are fixed, but she's not fixed yet. But I just want to make sure she gets enough growth hormones and stuff like that, so she don't have issues. But and then plus I just feel like, God, do we just do it out of convenience? Which, yeah, it's gross, so much blood. Ugh. So I will probably go, but it just makes me question like the things that we do to animals for our convenience. It's like we kind of go over their rights. It's kind of like when you look back in history as the white man, and when they came and they infiltrated and took over all these different tribes, and then they started sterilizing them. Even when there has been immigrants that have come over in the early 1900s and stuff, they were sterilizing women from other countries against their will without telling them and stuff. So, yeah, it's pretty... But then when you think about the full circle, like we all come up with, well, we can do it. It's up to us. So it's just that same kind of energy, and we deal with it in all the micro, macro, at all levels. It just depends on what storyline or where you're at in the story to have the situation play out, so that we can learn from the situations at hand, so we can like learn from that and see like what we do, and is it right, is it wrong? It's out of convenience, and I don't know. I don't have all the answers. All I know is that we're supposed to be asking lots of questions. We're supposed to be looking at things and thinking about what do we think about them. So anyways, that's one of the things that's been on my mind. But yeah, she's super frisky. She's super like, oh, somebody please. Somebody take me now. It's like, poor girl. She gets her diaper on and that's it. But, and she can't even get down there and lick it herself because the diaper's in the way. And so I feel bad. But anyways, but Max is losing weight again. So, and he's eating the same thing. I'm even giving him some kibble because he can chew things. He does better with having something to chew for some reason. And so or if he just swallows it whole, I don't know. But the chicken and the kibble, he can eat those. But if I try and give him vegetables and beans and stuff, oh my God, I gave them all a snack the other day because of their stomach things. I gave them all a snack of cottage cheese and yogurt. Oh my God, he creates a crime scene. He's just splattered everywhere. And it's, oh Lord. And then he's always like drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking. As soon as I put down new water, if one of them wants a drink, I have to give them fresh water. Put them down water. Even if I hear them go and start drinking out of his, it just grosses me out. God, it's so slobbery. And so I keep their water up because he beelines it over and just every single water dish. I could have 20 water dishes. He's going to hit them all. He's not going to stop for nothing. And then he walks around, even today, because he was like right on my heels. And I felt something wet going down the back of my foot. And I was like, oh my God, I turn around. Of course, it's him with his drools hanging. And so I go get a thing to wipe it. There was a drool that was like, it was as long as my forearm. Well, I mean, it wasn't that long. It was as long as from his face down to the floor. And when I took the rag, it just was hanging off of it. It was just hanging out. Oh, God. And I was like, oh, so sick. Oh, God, there's some stuff that's so sick, man. There's things that, like, my body hurts so bad. There's things that I have, dude, just was like, oh, so gross. So, anyways, but last night he slept better. I've been giving him CBD every single meal, so he's a little bit like tired, but at least he's not too uncomfortable. But definitely he's not getting better. So I don't think it's like autoimmune. I think it's definitely probably what the one doctor said, the older one, is some kind of cancer. But then they're just like, it's very odd that both sides of his head sunk in, because usually it's just one. So I don't know, whatever's he's got going on. So, but I'm still, waiting to do anything. And then Crystal was asking what I was, for clarification on Stella. So on Stella, so she is being, some of the nights she's extremely whiny, and that is where I started thinking, like, God, if I'm willing to put him down for pain, should I be willing to put her down for pain, or do I just? This is the kind of questions my daughter was asking me, and it's like, what am I putting her through to make sure that she stays here for me? And so it just was creating questions in my mind over my own, moral structure. And so I was questioning it more and thinking I need to get more prepared too. I need to get more prepared because, she's going to be 10. And that's pretty old for a Mastiff. And even yesterday, I was talking to my brother. And, because he's going to be gone for a month. He's leaving Friday. He's leaving tomorrow. Yeah, today's Thursday. He's leaving tomorrow and won't be back for a month. And then they'll be here. They won't be leaving again to go back to LA. And so I said, I don't know. Max is going to make it a month. And I said, I especially don't know. I said, I don't know that Max is going to, but I'm even thinking, I don't know if Stella is going to. So then he started looking it up. And then he said, well, most Mastiffs don't make it past 7 years old and then get some type of a cancer. That was the same thing that I was told about the Golden Retrievers. That's why because the vet had told me most of them don't make it past 9 or something like that. And Winston was like 12 when he died from cancer. And so I thought, I was doing good on him. And I wanted the same amount of time as Stella. I was really hoping for 12 or 13 years because I've heard of people who have massives. But I guess it's more rare to have one that lives to be 12 or 13, but I've heard of it. And so I was like, well, I'm hoping for that outcome. I'm hoping. And then once it started being about the med beds and that there's supposed to be these animal ones, then I'm like, God, if we can just make it to the med bed, I could get another 10 years with her. And, because it's supposed to just really improve their health and stuff. I don't think they're going to be living, hundreds of thousands of years because they get an opportunity to go, who wants to be somebody's pet for 1,000 years? So, anyways, but she, so I'm just watching her more closely and trying to be more real with myself over, what am I going to put her through? And I don't know what she has. Any kind of thing to do, any kind of diagnoses is hellacious. But certain things that I give are supposed to cover all the different things. They're supposed to cover everything that they can have, like even turkey tail and stuff. So, and she's been on that for years. But I know my sister-in-law, or my stepsister, she had her little dog on that to try and combat the big C, I think it was. And he was a little dachshund. And so he made it several more years, but then eventually, it didn't. So that's, what you're dealing with. And so anyways, but we started another round of the horse paste to see what that does. And if it keeps being, I'll take one of the stool samples down and get it tested and see if there's a Giardia situation going around. And I'm going to check with my brother, too, and see if his dog has gotten better, if she's continuing. Because maybe she brought it here. Maybe they gave it to her. So I didn't know it was so catching. Because Stella had it when I got her when she was a baby. Oh, my gosh. She had diarrhea like crazy. And she'd go outside constantly. And it was so high in snow. So it was so much snow, and she had this little trail, and she was tiny back then. And she was so cute. And, God, she was so cute. God, I'm going to miss her. It's so crazy when your kids grow up how much you miss when they're tiny. But when they're tiny, they can drive you so crazy. So, anyway, she was so cute. And she would go outside, and there'd be these walls of snow, and she would just be spraying diarrhea everywhere, all over these walls. And I was like, what the hell? So I took her. And she did have Giardia, but she came with it. And I had other dogs, and they didn't get it. So I didn't know it was catching like that. And anyway, when we lived in Colorado, my daughter got it, and from the water that would have been coming out of the faucet. But I got E. coli from water that came out of the faucet. And even over... because I still get emails and stuff from where my cabin was, and it had sent a thing about that everybody needed to be bleaching their water, or bleaching, no, they needed to be boiling their water, their faucet water, because they had to do a treatment on it because of E. coli or Giardia, some kind of bacteria that was in there. And so you get stuff out of faucet water. And which seems crazy because they put so much stuff in it. Because they literally take sewage and turn it into drinking water. It's so gross. It just grosses me the fuck out, man. But anyways, no, I'm not going to just rush into Stella. And she's been whining for like 5 years. It started when Winston got sick. And Stella started whining all the time. And and so she's been whining for years, so I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't be like, well, she's whining, but she's whining more. And I don't know if she's been, super sick all this whole time, but I'm not going to just go take her. It'd have to be more signs. But the other day when she ate, she puked, which was new. And then when she, some of the stuff that she loves to eat, she's now turning her nose up to it. And that is a big sign, is when they're deteriorating, is when they stop eating and stuff. And when there's a problem with eating. But see, Max keeps eating. And he seems really sick. Maybe he's got some neurological drive to just eat and eat and eat or something. Because he acts like he's starving all the time. He acts like he's dying of thirst all the time. So I don't know, but yeah, I'm not going to rush in with Stella, but I did and am trying to get more prepared. I did call to see up there if to get the name and number of vets that will come to your place. And then my daughter said that she would definitely come back and we'll do a little. It's going to cry. I can't stand to think about it. But she said we'll set up a whole little thing and a nice little thing out by the river. Oh. And then I'm kind of in between, like now, about the burying and the cremation. Because I do have Lucy's ashes, and I always said I was going to bury her ashes with mine. And then I was going to do the same with Stella's. But then I was really liking the opportunity to bury her and then put a tree, like a pretty flowering Japanese blossoming tree or something. And you know, for her energy to blossom through there over and over and over. And so I did like that. But then my daughter, she got a ring that has her her dog's ashes in it. So she said she gets to keep them with her all the time, which I do have some of my dad's ashes in a necklace, but I don't wear it. It's just, I don't know, just have something of my dad left, you know, it's in my possession, I guess, kind of. Because me and my sister both have it. And then I also want to get my mom's, and then I also have my grandma's. Because I got this little music box when I went to get that trunk from my uncle, and it had all that stuff in it. One of the things was this little music box with my grandma's picture on it. And so I told my mom, well, I want this. And she said, oh, that's your grandma's ashes. Everybody, we all have one of those. So I'll give mine to my other sister, and you can have that one. That one must be my uncle's or my aunt that died. I don't know. But I have that. Oh, which my other aunt that was having so many problems, her diagnosis came back as Alzheimer's, which I told my mom, like, that is, my other aunt I said, it's not, that's not normal. You know, you don't just have everybody in your family to get this stuff. It's supposed to, it shouldn't be like that, but there must be some kind of a genetic predisposition. So, and they've figured out how to trigger these things. But yeah, it shouldn't be like, oh, well, everybody in your family's going to die of Alzheimer's or something. It shouldn't be that way. And so, but they're rewriting science and stuff as we go to try and make it be, to just tell us whatever. So, it's all BS, man. But yeah, so my other aunt died of Alzheimer's, but she had early onset Alzheimer's. And so it was long time that she had it, and big deterioration, and then she died, and now my other aunt has it. And so, and I've seen so many doctors online saying those diagnoses are bugs in there, and that you need to, you know, get yourself some horse paste and go at it. And so, but that's the thing, is people just don't see, like, how flooded we are with bugs and toxins and stuff. Bugs and bug, it's kind of funny too. Bugs in, bug spray. So it's like weird, huh? But, you know, that's the weird world we live in. But anyways, they know what they're doing. They've got LABs everywhere around. They're in there studying. It's a big espionage between the different ones who can come up with the best way to do us in, the longest. Let's draw this out. We got to make money off these bitches. So anyways, they that's how their world works. But okay, so they're on the horse face. My aunt's got the thing. She needs to do the horse pass. The what was I saying? There was something I was saying that I wanted to finish saying something about. Dang, I can't think of it. But anyways, they're the sickness. With her. Oh, with the ashes. Oh, okay. So then, yeah. So I got the ashes with so I've got my grandma, my dad, and then I'm going to have my mom's. And my other grandparents, they're buried. So they weren't cremated. But they died long, long time ago. My grandpa died when I was, I don't know, I think I might have been 7. It was devastating. And then it was my first death. It was horrible. God, it was so horrible. And then my grandma died more when I was like 16, I think. And then my other grandpa, he died just a few years ago. He was like 100, but he was never like a grandpa. He was on my mom's side. Well, because on my dad's side they're like farmers, and a lot more wholesome. On my mom's side, there was I've talked about it before. Sometimes when people come and they're born very good looking, where people just drop their drawers for them, it is a part of your lessons. It's a part of, what your integrity is, what will you do. And my grandpa was definitely somebody who was like, oh, okay, let's go. I mean, he was not loyal to a woman, let's say. But anyways, he had a lot of years. But he did not, but he wasn't like a grandpa. So, anyways, he's been gone a few years. But my grandma, that was married to him, who he left her, he had other kids with other people while he was married to her, yes. But she raised the 4 kids by herself, and back in like the 40s after WW2, and she did it all by being a nurse. She was like a top nurse. She was the head nurse of a hospital in Kansas. I don't remember which one. But anyways, I could always see her soft side. And then when I had the medium come and talk to my grandparents, she was talking about that grandma was really funny. She was the one who, because they were all there talking about they did not like number 4 at all. My grandpa was like, well, if my grandpa was alive, it could be in the physical, he would have, he was not liking him at all. And my other grandma that was married to my grandpa, she was just this real sweetheart. She just was like, how much she enjoys just coming and sitting and watching. Oh, it's going to make me cry. How much she enjoyed coming and sitting and watching me with the grandkids, and she just loved that kind of stuff. And then my other grandma, the one that was like the tough one, she had said, do you want me to go do a haunting on number 4? She was going to go haunt him. Which I thought was really funny and cracked us up. So anyways, I always could see that she had this soft side, but she had to become pretty hard from what she went through in her life. So anyways, so I have her ashes, which I didn't know that's what it was when I got it. So it makes me happy that I have a little part of her. And so let's see if I wrapped up all this personal business. Yesterday it was super sunny, so I did go out. I've got red cheeks now. But I put castor oil, vitamin E, and aloe vera on them. So they'll be fine. And today's supposed to be sunny again, so I'm going to sit outside again with them. And it's nice because we just put on the music. I don't even go on my phone at all. And we just sit outside and, well, I have to get up a zillion times always. But they all just kind of just lounge around outside. Yesterday, they were so excited, though. We had 4 different deliveries. I couldn't believe it. It was just constantly, of course, I'm sitting out there in my swimsuit, constantly delivery guy after delivery guy after delivery guy. And then I was out, like, right by the door when the last one came. That was UPS. And I was in my swimsuit. I didn't have my cover up or anything on. And so I was like, fuck it. Like, I'm at the river. If they've never seen anybody in their swimming suit, then I don't know. So I just walked out because I had to go out to my car to get something. And so I just walked out there to get my thing and got the package and just went back in. And I felt kind of like exposed, but then it was like, oh, well, it's like, I mean, you're a grown ass adult. You've surely seen people in their swimming suits. It's not weird. You're coming to somebody's house at the river. So, anyways, let me think. Was there anything else I was going to talk about today? My big plan is to sit outside. My brother's coming to get his trailer. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to zippity-doo-dah down to the store, though, and get some water and get some more kombucha. And but when so they're all lounging out, and then, and it was also trash day. So they were just getting all sorts of excitement out there. But it's so weird too how Amazon will send out, like, I may have had 3. I see all of them would have been orders off of Amazon. So I had a FedEx one, an order off of Amazon, a UPS one, an order off of Amazon, and 2 for sure, 2 different delivery trucks came, Amazon delivery trucks. And one of the things I had just ordered, because I told you I'm trying to get prepared, and so yesterday morning, I ordered the little thing to do paw prints and nose prints for these 2. So I got 4 of them. So I'll do Max paw and nose and Stella's paw and nose. But I was thinking I'm going to wait until they've already gone. I'm not going to sit here and try and do it while they're alive. I'll just wait and then do it then, so you can get a steady one. So, but anyways, so I got those. And because I was saying, I'm just trying to be prepared now for the inevitable, whatever's going to happen. But it could very well, though, still be the med beds. I don't know still about Max. We'll have to see. But, keep it going until, there's, that the CBD's not working or he chokes it. I don't know. It's hard to figure out this stuff, man. This stuff is hard. And back in the olden days, it's like once your dog wasn't doing good, you just went out there with your 6-shooter and you took care of business. Nowadays, it's like, in a civilized world, it's very stressful. But I wouldn't want that either. I mean, I think we've grown way beyond that. Although there's still people who live like that. There's still people who handle business the same way. And I just look at them kind of like as they are not as evolved in some area. They're still learning about some lessons that we have all been here and learned before. Which I saw a girl talking the other day. And she said that, so she did past life regression hypnosis off of YouTube. And so she said she just put it on and just wanted to see what would happen. She was kicking back that day or something. So she did it, and then she found herself, she said when it first started, she was playing with a little girl outside, like throwing a ball or something. And so she said that she knew to look down, look and see what kind of shoes you have on, look at your hands and stuff like that, look at what your clothes look like. So she looked down and she saw she had ginormous feet, and she had some kind of sandals on or something. And she looked at her hands were ginormous. And she looked at her clothes, and they were kind of gladiator looking. And so she knew she was some kind of big man, and that she could sense that this was his little, the person's little girl in this life. And then he got taken to the arena and was forced to fight. And he did not want to fight, and he didn't want to kill people. And he said that they put in like 100 people or something at first, and they all just had to fight. And then, of course, the upper echelons were sitting up in the stands enjoying the show. Now they enjoy it over the dark web and, use their coins, the bit, to, so sick, man. But I keep messing with these little things. I'm pulling off my blanket. I gotta stop. It's driving me crazy. So, and I keep feeling like I've got like fiberglass all over my body. You know how that, well, if you know, I don't know, not everybody knows what it feels like, I think. I've been up in an attic when I was a kid in fiberglass, so I know what it feels like. But so she said, so she was in there and she was supposed to fight. And she just kept pretending because she didn't want to hurt anybody. And so she just was acting like she was. And the fighting kept going and going. And she said it was so weird because she could smell the blood. And she's all these smells and these senses that she was like, it was so weird because it was so like she was there. And so there's all this battle going. And there's this other really badass guy. And he's killed everybody. So now he's got to fight this guy who's been pretending to fight. And so they have to go into this big battle. And so he ends up having to kill this guy in order to not be killed himself. So he kills that guy. And the emperor, whoever, didn't think it was good enough. And so they wanted him to have to fight. I think they sent in a bear first. So he had to fight a bear. So he had to kill a bear. And he didn't want to kill anything. So he had to kill a bear. Then he had to kill a tiger. And so once he had killed those things, and then the emperor or whoever wanted to, Max is over there drinking, then he had to be, the emperor wanted to talk to him. So he had said that he wanted him to come and be one of his soldiers. And the guy said he didn't want to be. He said, you can choose from this bag of gold, or you can come be one of my soldiers. And the guy said, I'll take the gold. See, I've got a family. I'm going back home. And so he took the bag of gold. When he got home, his family was hurt. And he was very upset. But when he walked outside, he was surrounded by the soldiers, and they hurt him. And I had two specific past lives that I had seen. In both times, it was soldiers coming in and yeah, the soldiers that were there. And you know, some of these soldiers that did that stuff, they're people. But I think that some of those people who are around now are probably more evolved, because they do learn from those things. You know, when you go and you do these horrible things, and then you go and you have to go through your life review and experience it from the other people's point of view, then it's very traumatic, kind of, it's makes you see. So you learn and you grow from it. And sometimes you have to go in and keep going and seeing it from, every way possible. So sometimes you still will go in and still hurt somebody or do something. But your lessons and stuff, it's like so detailed. And so it's, but, you think like back to past lives or something and the horrible things and people killing you, but you've also killed people. You could have been one of those soldiers. But the people who were around right now who are doing it, see, it's their time to learn those lessons. But there's lots of people who have learned those lessons. I think that's one thing that people have to remember, because we see people doing horrific things now, but that's their time to learn the lessons that a lot of us learned in other lives. Because, there was somebody playing those soldiers. They weren't just bodies with no souls. Everybody plays all different parts, and sometimes you play the good guy and sometimes you play the bad guy. And so only so that you can go through every different possibility of being able to see something from every perspective, so that you can really understand it and feel it and know it. It's not just somebody tells you something and you just you go in and experience it, so that you know it to the depth of your soul. So anyways, I thought that was interesting, because there's more people who are becoming more interested in past lives and stuff. But yeah, if you're interested in doing one, you don't have to go and pay. There's videos that lead you through it. And I know when my mom did it, but she doesn't believe in this stuff. And she was pretty tripped out when she went and did it, because I was very into, when I read Shirley MacLaine, I became very into the reincarnation thing. I was just absorbed. I just had to read everything. And so I was like, oh, I want to go get a past life regression so bad. And so she did go get one. And I've talked about it before, but when she went in, she was in some cabin, and it was a long time ago, and she's looking around at the stuff. She could see a newspaper and stuff, and she lived out in some remote cabin somewhere. And I think her husband came home, and she saw that it was her dad. And so she was totally tripped out. And I don't know if that's when she woke up. She doesn't want to talk about it. She doesn't want to, because she thinks, it's not real. It's like, that is real. But she said it was really weird because it was just like she was there in the room and in the cabin. And she was looking around, and she would know the stuff. But anyways, but that's what it is all about. That's what the past life thing is. And that's why I said, when it comes down to it, I mean, we sit here and think about like incels and stuff like that, but I mean, we really literally, we don't have that same connection as what, I mean, it's just so weird, because it's like your soul is connected to all the other souls, but you come through and you play all these different roles for each other. And it's kind of like, I'm not saying, oh, incest is bad, like, oh, it's okay, it's no big deal. It's like, but because we have parameters that we live by. But when it comes to the soul thing, yeah, everybody who, your siblings, your parent, like, you've played all different roles with these people. So, but I still am like, but you still go by the parameters of this world, like, it's not like, oh, well, we're not, doesn't matter, just because some people do that, but that's their lessons, that's their stuff. So anyways, but yeah, it's weird because we really are married to, like, in other lives, we're married to our parents and siblings and stuff like that, so it's just weird. But anyways, I think it's only really weird when we really look at it through three-dimensional physical eyes and not through the spiritual, because when we look at it through the spiritual, we aren't married to anybody, and we aren't a gender. We're in an energy that is going in and like playing a role, inhabiting a being so that it can experience what it is to be alive. What is it to be alive? Well, we're creating experiences to see that. So it is, so it's so different. It all depends on where you're kind of looking at things through the lens that you are looking through. And it's, I think it's important to keep your spiritual lens available at all times, not to get too hung up in the physical world and the rules and stuff like that. But see, then there's certain rules. It's like, well, I think I'm gonna live by that one. I'm gonna stay with that. That rule is gonna work for me. Not to. Don't go doing things with your siblings and your parents and stuff like that, but not everybody adheres to those rules, that's for sure. That's one thing that we have found in this society. So the the thing that seems to be the big thing going on, well, one thing, I just keep having this guy going through all my mind, because he was one of these spiritual people, but he spoke with such authority, and speaking on ill of, like, I know I saw him talking about Bashar's phony and stuff like that, and he reads energy and all that, and then I just can't believe all these people who are now channeling Jim Carrey, and but for him to say that he was off in 2022 is it's like, dude, is your ego so big that you didn't even go research like what his when he was his different things when he was out in the public eye since 2022? Did you know, go look at any of the pictures or anything like that? You just decided? Like, one thing too is I was thinking about, because, like I'll get confirmation all the time. And sometimes I feel like, I got to share it because I got to convince somebody, like, no, like they told me this and then look, it happened. And so this morning, all of a sudden I realized it isn't even about that. It isn't about trying to convince any of you guys. It's for me. When you're getting confirmation, it is for your trust. It's for you to learn to trust your intuition, to trust your guidance. It's all for you. And a lot of times, I feel like, I've got to like convince somebody. Look, I'm telling you the truth. I just know. And but now I'm seeing it, confirmation, way more as, no, this is for my confirmation. This is for my trust. This is for me to learn to trust myself. And so then that guy popped into my mind, and I was thinking, oh, so he's really trusting himself to the point he's not even going to go do any research to see, where Jim Carrey was from 2022 to 2026. And because that is during Joe's reign. And even after, because he said it was right after the slap. Right after the slap is when he was taken down. And right after the slap, they had him on like Good Morning. I think he was after Sonic #1. And he was doing the circuit of interviews. And I know I saw one of Gail or whoever asking him about, what do you think about that slap, man? And he was like, it made him sick. He just can't believe how Hollywood is just, gone down. Like when he went to it, I guess it seemed like, the cool club seemed like the fun place to be, but then it's just gone so down because the energy of it, it's going the other direction. And so he was in a lot of interviews. And so why right after the slap now was it that he was done in? And it's like, and then he did Sonic 2 and 3 and went on all sorts of different, like the openings and stuff like that. Well, he looked like his regular self at all those. So if they had already this perfect clone, this realistic guy who was already playing him because he was already gone, then why would they all of a sudden switch it over and change this one that didn't look like him, act like him, talk like nothing? It seemed like somebody trying to act like him, and which I think that's what it was, is somebody a stand-in thing, the same thing that they did with Joe. I don't think it's a clone, and I think but that doesn't mean I don't think that they have his DNA. I've seen other young actors, because I think that they do a lot of this stuff, is take certain stars' genetic material, and then they create new ones, and they think, well, it worked, we'll make another one of him. And because there's like young actors that come out looking like other ones, it's like, I think that might be some kind of genetic link here. I think if we started doing some, we would find some links on some of these people. So I think that they do a lot of that. And yeah, they will bring out somebody, a replacement. But I think some of the replacements oftentimes are shapeshifter people, or people who skeleton key jump into other people and stuff. So I think it's it's a complex situation. But I think that the guy who went to that Rock Hollywood, that Rock Hall of Fame thing, and that French award thing, I think those ones were deliberate to make it be apparent that it was not him. I swear to God, I think the guy was way shorter and maybe smaller because his suit didn't fit him right. And Jim Carrey is very he's like distinguished, kind of like he really puts effort into how he's going to dress, what he wears and stuff. And he is tall and kind of like, I don't know, Jimmy Stewart kind of guy. And so, yeah, I was like, and this guy, no, it was just nothing. And so I think, well, if they already had this other one that was looking so much like him, and why would they switch it? And what is this guy talking about? Does he not realize, because then he started playing Joe. Because let's see, so 2016 to 2020. Okay, so then 2022, that would be right smack dab in the middle of Joe's thing. There was lots of us who were watching, who were like, that is Jim Carrey. That is definitely Jim Carrey. There was guys who were showing how he walks like him, he moves his hands like him, he talks like him, he falls like him. It was like all of these things that were like, that has got to be him. And so this guy doesn't realize that. Then he did Sonic 2 and 3, and then he went out and did more interviews. He still looked the same. And went to the openings and stuff, and you're saying that that's not him? It's like, man. So, yeah, I don't know. You got to use your discernment and stuff. And when you're getting messages, because this is something I've seen a lot through the spiritual community when I hear people talking, is like, I'm constantly like, I don't know who you're talking to. And that is even on Bashar. I've said that before. I've said that before on Abraham Hicks. And I've said that before on Chiron. All of them. It's like, sometimes they'll say stuff and I'm like, I don't know who they're talking to, man. Because any of the higher vibration that I talk to, it's quite noticeable. They are not angry. They're not belittling. They're not condescending in the least. They are the epitome of kindness. And the darker, lower vibration entities, yeah, they're condescending. They're rude. They're hateful. They'll fucking sit in your ear and talk shit on you all day long. That's what turns some of these people crazy. Because they just are relentless. And they don't know how to fight back against them. They don't know how to tell them, get the fuck out of here. Shut the fuck up. I'm going to raise my vibration and get you off my back, bitch. So you got to learn how to deal with them. And they're constantly around you. They're constantly. Yeah, it's not just like, oh, that poor person, they're possessed. It's like, we're all possessed. We've all got these bitches on our backs fucking following us around, talking shit on us. So, and that's where you got to just tune them out and say, shut the fuck up, man. And they will do shit. Like I said before, like my other house, that one, it was flipping knives like everywhere I go. There was a knife sticking up. It was like knives flying out of my thing all the time. It was like, dang, this thing wants me to get hurt. It's like, fuck off, dude. And they'll do that kind of stuff. They'll knock things out of your hands. You'll be walking, you'll trip. You'll be walking, your clothes get caught on something. They fuck with you all the fucking time. And right now, we're under the spiritual attack. And it's some fucking nonsense, man. They're just fucking with you. Otherwise, maybe you're not paying attention. You don't realize it. Or maybe, you're not at the place that they're trying to fuck with you. Because you've got enough problems that they're happy with where you're at with all of your own negative shit. I don't know. But I know I'm being fucked with. Oh my girl, tears my sweetie. So I know that I'm being fucked with for sure. And that's her tail. Let's see what she's doing though. She's like, maybe I do want to go out. No, I think she's spinning circles. She wants to lay by. She just wants to move. That's the other thing too, the panting. And I can't get rid of this vaginitis thing too. It makes me worried, that she's got some kind of female cancer thing, which makes me worried about fixing the whole situation. Because they're always pushing us to do that, but is it causing them to have some kind of cancers or something? And then her panting. I'm always like, is she hot? Because she's big. She's full of heat. Or is she, because it's also a sign of heart problems, but she drinks dandelion tea. I give her dandelion tea all the time. So I'm doing all the things I can, but those are the things that I'm kind of watching. So definitely the puking, the not wanting to eat, the panting, the crying. Oh, girl, I love you so much. She's looking at me. You're no so sweetie. I love so much. Yes, you are so sweet. Yeah, I know you're not comfortable. Oh, my baby. Her face is turning so gray. If I could turn her in so you could see. I'll see if I can turn it in so you can see. There we go. There's my baby. Such a cutie pie. So, anyways, they do fuck with you, and they are around, and you've got them in your fucking face all the time. People don't know. So, but you have to learn how to tell them to shut up and get away from you and leave you alone. But they will fuck with you. You have to, be mindful. You have to be paying attention. It's when you're rushing around and you're not paying attention is when you'll get hurt. And they will try and create frustration. And I know that they mess with the dogs to try and frustrate me. And it works. It works, man. Oh. So anyways, but you got to, guys, all these people, they just think because they're hearing a voice, well, it must be the voice of God. Must be the voices of the archangels. It's you got to pay attention to what they're telling you. The energy of what they're saying. And then in the case where you're, think you're channeling somebody, who go and do some research on the person. It's there's tricksters. There's ones that will trick you. And so you got to use discernment. You can't just be out there, well, whatever. I've heard a voice, so it's obviously that. It's you better, I don't know. So anyways, everybody's on their own journey. I don't know. So, but yeah, I'm still standing 10 toes on this. Jim Carrey's not dead. So, and that there's some operation going, some big reveal is coming or something, and he's some part of it. Because the Joe thing, we've still just passed it over to just focus on the files to find Donald's name on it. There's even a girl now who's coming out and saying she was a victim of Donald, and he was tortured and abused her when she was 8 years old. Bullshit. Bullshit, 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 bullshit. If he was that, he would be supporting these people. He would be giving them places to hide. He wouldn't be taking them down. Give me a freaking break. So, but of course, they're going to put people out there who are going to say something. And these people could believe it. They could be hypnotized into believing it. They got mind control people. So they can, monarch them into believing that this is their story and tell them to get out there and tell it. So no shame on them. We don't know that all of them are just pure ass, award-winning actors for being able to come on and lie like that. They could totally have a story put into their mind and they totally believe it. But I don't care. I don't believe it, because I don't believe that he would make it his mission in life to take these people down. If he was one of them, he would be yeah, I'll get in there. I'll make sure that we're all taken care of. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's bullshit. So, but the big thing that's going on right now is the money thing. There's a big thing going, and it's confusing to me. Because before it was the X and the R that they were oh, they're all about to be billionaires. And that's what they were going to, the new quantum, because the new system is going to be one of those. What are those things called? It's not that bit. That was going down. That was even though it's going up right now, it's going to crash. Because of the energy that it was based on, why it was even created, was so that they could do crimes under the table. So, yeah, that one's going. It's not going to be oh, well, it's fixed now. No, it's the energy that it carries is going away. So that one's going to fall. But there's more of them. Cryptos, that's what they are. So there's more of those that have come. The only ones that will go forward is if they are asset-backed. There's nothing that's going to be backed on, well, 100 people own it, so now we've jacked the price up. No, there has to be something that backs it. In gold, silver, whatever, and whatever backs it it's going to be on the, what that's worth. So whatever that's worth is going to be what the stuff is worth, because it has to have something that gives it some substance. So the ones that are asset backed. So now, before they were saying that the X and the R, that one was going to be backed by, it was going to be the new crypt for the quantum, the new system. So they were going to use that. So it was going to be backed by 100 jillion billion pounds of gold or whatever. And so all those people were going to suddenly, who had bought, who owned it, were going to all of a sudden, they were going to be rich, 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 rich. So, because there was going to be such a huge value in their stuff. And then also, this is where it gets confusing, because now there's a new one. And then, so it's worth 0 or something, but it's going to all of a sudden have a whole bunch that's going to dump into it. And this is your chance to get it. So people are saying, like, go listen to what Donald's saying, because he's telling you exactly what to put your stuff into. I know back when I was getting the silver, he was saying gold, silver, gold, silver, gold, silver. But right now he's trying to prepare people, like, this is your opportunity, go get a little of this, and you're going to be happy that you did. And people are saying it's going to be like, if you put in $83, you're going to have $830,000. And so it's going to go way up. And so I'm not even sure. And there's something about oil, and it's so complex. I'm good on the silver. Like, this other stuff's so complex. I try to send it to other people who haven't gotten any investment yet, so that they can, if they want to look into it and see, because it might be one that's going to pay back real quick. But because still the silver is going to be, I'm still holding out on that for the long game, because it's going to start going up a lot by the technologies, because there's a lot of stuff it's going to be used for, and there's already a shortage, so they're going to have to get more, which is going to drive up the price of what the people have, because it's going to be so valuable, because they need it for these technologies and stuff. So so then it's going to be like, oh, well, we'll give you $100,000 for, we'll have to see what's going to happen with it. But it's supposed to go way up. So I'm just holding on to that. But there's these other things with the crypto thing. And so you just have to go look it up. There's a whole bunch of stuff, and it's supposed to be happening quick. There's some people saying that in the next couple days, we're all going to be multimillionaires. That's something Donald is doing or saying or something. There's something on The Simpsons that said something about it. And then there's something within 2 weeks, where some people are saying we're all going to be millionaires at the end of this month. And there's a whole bunch of stuff. I just was seeing video after video after video yesterday. And it was like so many, and they were all saying all these things and stuff, and it was like, fuck, man, I don't know, this is all just too much for my brains. All I can hear is like, oh, things are about to change, the money thing is about to go. So that's the big thing, that I'm waiting on, is just like, let's let this go, let's let this collapse, so we can move on to the new system. And some people are going to get rich, but we're going to go into a period of time where it's not going to be like this hierarchy where we all have, it's going to be a different kind of time. Travel's going to change. We're watching travel fall apart. We're going to have more. They've even got now where they've started flying taxis or something, the little mini helicopters or something. So we're all going to go into a different way of travel, and I know things are going to open up in like portals, so we're going to be able to get to places quicker. We're not going to be paying for homes and cars and stuff. Things are going to be given, and we're not going to have the same kind of draw. We're going to have insurances and all this stuff. And so we're not going to have the same stresses. Like right now, everybody's gone through so much with the food and the stresses and all this stuff. People are like, all right, I have some money. Yeah. But we're not going to, I think even if you have a bunch of money, it's just going to kind of be like, yeah, I've got some, I'm okay. Because it's not going to be as much. I think our priorities, for one thing, are going to be different. We're not going to be trying to feed our ego through money. And I think that we are not going to be as competitive. Like, look what I've got. And we're going to be living in a world where we just don't have the same kind of things pulling on us. Like, we're not under the same kind of stresses. And I think there is going to be a huge amount of money that's going to be given back. It's going to be going back to the people. Just like, this whole thing about Jeffrey's will. When it's going to his girlfriend. Bullshit on that. It's going back to the people, all the people, and that is out of his Donald's EOs from the first reign. And he said, you are involved in these things, it's all coming back and it's all going back to the people. So it's all being confiscated. So Nancy's man, all these mansions, all these islands, all that stuff is going back to the people. It's not going to their girlfriends. And it's like you shouldn't have been boyfriend and girlfriend with somebody like that, man. You thought you were going to get their billions of dollars. No, it's going back to the people. It's going back to where it belongs. And so that kind of stuff is going to be going back. So people are going to, there is going to be a flipping of the money situation. So it's not going to be, well, dang, I didn't invest. Now everybody's rich except me. It's not going to be like that. I don't think you need to stress out like, I got to invest. But if you really want to see and play around with it and see what you can do, there is a lot going on, but it seems like you got to be moving fast because people are like within 3 days. And the other one I've seen, the longest distance I saw was the end of the month. And so I'm just hopeful that this is it, which aligns with the lady who said that the med beds are going to be available at the beginning of April. So I'm just hoping. And this whole WW3 all has to do with resources and oil and all that stuff. And because the other people have been in charge of it, and it's switching, so they're pulling it from their hands. And Donald's out there saying weird stuff, and I think it's just to pull attention, because then you see all the people, see, he's so crazy, as he says, yeah, I think I can take over Cuba now, I think I can just get Cuba. And it's like the people just want to jump on him, but I think he's saying we're getting rid of these dictators, we're getting rid of these people, and we're going to move into a place where equality is key, and where everybody, it isn't, we're walking past people who are starving in the streets to go get into our Corvette. It's going to be, everybody's got a Corvette, everybody's got a home, everybody's got food. It's not going to be some people don't, and the people who don't, Donald already said a few years back, he's starting treatment places. He's going to get people who are homeless and stuff and try and get them into treatment and get them into facilities. And people were like, oh my God, he's taking people out of the streets and putting them in crazy house. He's trying to help people get their acts together so that they can live a good life, because a lot of them, they're beat down. They've got issues. They've got mental issues. They've got addiction issues. They've got self-esteem. There's a whole bunch of things. So, which, a lot of us have issues. We just don't all play them out in the same way. I just saw a guy talking to a homeless guy the other day who was obviously, got issues with drugs, because at one point he's just bent over in the middle of the street. But something on the back of his head, I don't know what the hell happened. If somebody hit him on the back of the head with a board or something, and he keeps going to the hospital, and I don't know, they're not helping him or whatever, because the guy was so concerned who had seen him, because it's like gangrene, his whole back of his head, and he's trying to get him to go to the doctor. He's like, here, let me take you and stuff. And the guy's just strung out, and the guy keeps trying to help him and help him and help him. So, a lot of the people don't even know how to take help. They've never had anybody be there for them. So anyways, they are trying to help get people who are homeless and stuff. Even when they were having all those homeless people disappear, I was thinking, well, either they're, on the fast train to Lizard Land for food, or they are being taken to treatment places so that they can start getting into treatment, because the world is changing and we have to change to keep up with it. So anyways, I am hoping that this is the last couple weeks of this dollar bill, y'all. We're moving into our new way of being, and we're getting rid of the old one. And the med beds, the med beds would be just around the corner, hopefully, because that lady did say something about April 2nd or something like that. So, and it's that Australian lady. She does videos all the time. You can find her on YouTube. And she's always talking about it. But anyway, she said she saw the paperwork and stuff. And then it said that this date was the day. So it does seem like the things are leading up, because those two things go hand in hand. The money and the medical. That will go real quick. So once the money goes, but there's maybe a period of time when the money goes that is going to be very traumatic for a lot of people, because people are going to be losing they're going to, by all appearances, and it's part of their story, it's a part of their lessons, it's part of their journey. They're going to lose their retirement, they're going to lose their home, they're going to lose this, they're going to lose that. But the big thing about loss is it's not really real. It's like you're letting go of something that you have put too much energy into or something. I don't know. Everybody's on their own journey. I just know like what mine has led me into being. And so, yeah, there's going to be a lot of loss over things. And it's like fiberglass or something, man. So, confirmation. So, anyways, there we will have, it could be like, a period of time. Maybe it'll be a weekend. But I think that there's going to be a strain, because I think that it's going to create so much depression and stuff. And maybe that's why they scoot the med beds out real quick, because there's going to be people offing themselves. Because they know that there's something that happens where there's going to be a lot of people who are going to start offing themselves. But that could be when people start seeing the truth, because it's too much for their brains. That's like, how could I be this fooled? What kind of fool am I? But the whole thing about when you start realizing you're a fool, we've all been fools. We've all been foolish. We came here to learn about being fools. So don't be too hard on yourself. And so that's the part where you got to learn to forgive yourself, and to be accepting of yourself. Yeah, it's okay to be foolish. We don't have to be perfect. We're not meant to be perfect. If we were perfect, we sure wouldn't be here learning how to deal with ourselves and learn about ourselves. So it's why when you're here to learn about yourself, you're here to learn how to accept yourself, and the foolish sides of yourself, the mean sides of yourself, the harsh sides of yourself, the bitter sides of yourself, the impatient sides of yourself. You got to learn how to forgive them, to nurture them, to love them. So it's the whole journey is about learning how to love yourself, learning how to love everybody, because we're all on the same journey, man. And we got to be able to, when we can give it to ourselves, we got to be able to willing to give it to everybody else, because we all need it. We all need to just love each other and be forgiving of one another. And so we can create a world of joy and happiness. But until then, you got to learn how to maneuver through all of this craziness and not get stuck. Know how to go through. Know how to tell them to shut the fuck up. So learn how to love yourself, learn how to love everybody else, and learn how to have the day you want to have. And we'll see what this Thursday, now it's a whole nother week is about to end. So it's like going so fast. So we'll see what this day brings us, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.